Hey everyone, it's the Jose32 back again with another card trick. This one is one that's a little bit hard to actually do a performance on because it requires several spectators, but I can kind of go through it and then explain it a little bit better. I'm not going to tell you who I got this trick from because a guy banned my ass, and I think he's a Turk, and I've asked him to unban me. And I apologize for anything I may have done, but he hasn't done that, so I'm not going to give him a shout out or promote him in any way. But I will do his trick. Alright, so what you need is a deck of cards. Or you can even give them a bit of a shuffle if you want. And a cut. And you can see it is all mixed up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to deal cards out into 5 piles of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can actually do this in any way you want. Just to mix up the cards a little bit better. And now we got 5 piles of 5 cards. And we can have each spectator, we're going to have 5 spectators. That's recommended anyways. Take one pack and they shuffle it up. And then they memorize one card. Let's say they memorize the Jack of Hearts in this one. I'll just make a mental note here so I know what it is. And they shuffle it up. The second spectator does the same thing. And they memorize 10 of clubs. Let's say it's the 10 of clubs for this one, and Jack of Hearts for the first one. Give it a shuffle. These up a little bit. This is a great trick. I performed it once live. It's awesome. Let's say they go with the King of Diamonds for this one. Shuffle it up, and then work that down. Third pile, give a little shuffle, or the fourth pile I should say. And let's say they memorize the 9 of Diamonds. That's the 9 of Diamonds, by the way. And then for the final pile, give it a shuffle. And let's say they memorize the Jack of Spades. Alright? The Jack of Spades. So, first person memorized the Jack of Hearts, the second one the 10 of Clubs, third the King of Diamonds, the fourth, the 9 of Diamonds, the fifth, the Jack of Spades. Now I can have another spectator, a sixth spectator, take these cards and stack them up any way they like. And now we're going to shuffle the cards back into 5 piles any way they like. So we are really mixing up these cards into 5 completely random piles. And now I got the spectator, after they've dealt the cards into 5 random piles, to once again stack them up any way they like. And then we give the pack a cut for good measure. And now I'm going to take the cards and deal them, spread them out into 5 piles, just like so. And I'll try to get these all in the picture. Hopefully you can see all of those. More or less. And now I'm going to ask the first spectator to point to the pile that has their card in it. They're going to point to this pile, and I'm going to automatically know that their card was the Jack of Hearts. The second spectator points to the pile with their card. Of course, they're not going to tell me what the card is, but they're going to point to the pile with the card, and I can automatically tell them it was the 10 of clubs. The third spectator tells me which pile their card was in. They're going to say this pile, and I automatically tell them it's the King of Diamonds. Then the fourth person, I should say, tells me which pile their card is in. It's in this pile, and I can tell them that it is the 9 of Diamonds. And then finally, the fifth person tells me this pile of their card is in, and it's this one, and I can tell automatically it is the Jack of Spades. You may not believe me, because I know what all the cards are, but trust me, it does work, and I'll explain why it works and how it works right now. And you do need a couple of indicator cards. And these are the 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 of hearts. For any 2, 4, 6, and 8 that you want, it's recommended that you use these ones so they're not as noticeable as opposed to using, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, instead of using the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10, jack, queen, king, ace, or anything like that, use cards like this. Make them all the same suit that they're easy to memorize, so that they are easier to memorize. And then you take them, oops, take your pack, you take the cards and you put them in order on top of the pack. So now you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 all on the top of the pack. And then you're ready to start. Then you can do some false cuts if you like, some false shuffles, whatever you want. Just keep those 5 cards on top of the pack. What I like to do is I like to take less than half of the pack like this and shuffle that with the rest of it, and that way there's no way you can mix those top cards in any way unless you screw up. And like I said, do some false cuts. Oops, I screwed up there. This is my own personal false cut that I created, the false cut I call it. And I do have a little bit of a tutorial on this false cut if you want to learn it, so check that out. But it is indeed a false cut. Now what you do is you deal the cards into 5 piles. It's important that you make sure you deal out these first 5 cards in order, because these are your indicator cards. They must be in order. After that, you can continue to deal the cards in order, or you can deal them into any piles you like. It doesn't really matter. And this way it looks like you're kind of mixing up the cards a bit. And you just want to make sure you have 5 cards in each pile. And you can put the rest of the deck away. And there we go. We have 5 cards in each pile. And now you just have each pile shuffled by the spectators like I was doing before. Doesn't matter how they shuffle it, how good, how bad. And then of course, they each memorize a card. We'll say the Joker in this first pile, or actually, let's go with the 7 of clubs in the first pile. Alright, we'll use the 7 of clubs. And you can shuffle that up a bit. The next guy is going to use the Jack of Spades. And I'm just marking these down so I don't forget. The third person is going to pick, oh, let's say the King of Hearts. The fourth person is going to pick, let's say, the 9 of Hearts. And I'll shuffle it back up a little bit as well. I'm sorry if I'm going out of the camera. And then the final person, and it doesn't matter what card they pick or anything like that, and they get all mixed up, so it's very interesting. All the cards get mixed up, and they have indicator cards and everything, and it still works out, so it's very interesting. This next person, let's say they select the 10 of Hearts, because I know somebody's going to ask, what if they pick one of the indicator cards? So we're going to use the 10 of Hearts, and I'll show you what happens if they pick that card. We'll give that a little bit of shuffle. And now you stack up the cards any way you want. Just don't change up the orders. And then again, you deal them into 5 piles randomly just to mix them up. And then again, stack them up any way you like. And this is like I said, it's a really good trick because it looks like the cards are all mixed up. The spectators have selected any random cards. I have no idea what those cards could be. Nobody else has any idea what these cards could be, except for the spectators who selected them. All the cards apparently get all mixed up. We even cut them for good measure. And then I just take the cards, put them into 5 piles, just like so. You just peel off 5 cards and set them down just like this. Don't change up the order. Don't reverse the order. Don't count them off. Just peel them off like I've been doing. And I will show you how it works. So now what you do is you have the spectator, the first spectator tell you which pile their selection is in. They say this pile, and it was a 7 of clubs. So what I do is I look for my first indicator card, the 2 of hearts. As you can see, the 2 of hearts is right on the end of this pile. And so that tells me that their selection is going to be in the same position. And there it is. Almost looks reversed. But this tells me, look at the first indicator card, that their card is going to be in the exact same position, the 5th position, and there it is, the 7 of clubs. The second spectator has their card, the Jack of spades, in this pile. So now I'm looking for the 4. The 4 is in the 4th position. So is their selection. Third spectator picked the King of hearts. So I point to this pile. I look for the 6 of hearts. There it is, first card in this pile in the same position. Where's the King of hearts? Exact same position right over here, in case you can't tell. The fourth person picked the 9 of hearts. So they point to this pile. I look for the 8 of hearts, which is in the 2nd position over here. That tells me their card is also in the 2nd position. And then the third spectator, they chose the 10 of hearts, which is one of my indicator cards. They point to this pile, and I look for the 10 of hearts, and the 10 of hearts is right there. That tells me their selection has to be the 10 of hearts, because they said their card is in this pile, and that's the only cards that's left, and you know, it works out. So it doesn't matter if they select an indicator card, because for instance, say they selected the 4 of hearts, right? And they point to this pile. If I look for the 4 of hearts, there it is. It always works out. It's an awesome trick. Fools everyone. These are wondering how you did that. And you can also use the jokers, like I said, and but in this case, actually the jokers could be a little bit confusing because there's 2 of them that were actually dealt out, so it's not always a good idea to have the jokers in there, because what happens if they select a joker and they're identical, like these ones, and then they point to a joker and it's the wrong one? You'll be kind of screwed. But then again, you might be able to figure it out based on, okay, there's no card that works in this pile. There's a 2nd joker. See if that works. That should work. Anyways, that's a pretty cool trick. I like it. And this is my brand new Hope Tech, which I also like. Again, as a reminder, check out Azukini Magician, my favorite female Japanese magician, and actually probably the only female Japanese magician on YouTube, or at least the one I'm subscribed to that I know of. She's awesome. Great tricks she does, great tutorials. I highly recommend you check her out. And also check out her website. I mean, highly recommend you check her out and also check out her YouTube page. Anyway, that's that card trick. I plan on doing one more. Hopefully it'll work out, we'll see. So stay tuned for that.